Okay. I guess we'll go to the Shaperate. Always wanted to work here when I was younger. Great.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
What's the problem? Stealing from the libraries is bad, even though they treated me like dirt. I don't approve of that.
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in a Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. No offense, Warden. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They don't know the value.
Yes, sure, don't worry. It's so nice that you can now count on me, now that I am no longer a duster or a brand, to solve this problem for you. You know, because now that I am a Grey Warden, I have magically stopped being what I once was, and now appreciate the value of the memories of the Shaperate, which I used to dream and fantasize about working at, but which you people would never, ever, ever have allowed me to. Because I did realize and appreciate the value. Imagine that. But I guess I had to prove myself to people like you, even though you were wrong about me. And now I am supposed to go and help you. Because I am no longer a terrible brand who could never understand the value of learning. And thus, of course, it is only natural that horrible castless people like me should never have been allowed to become a Shaperate. But now I have magically changed and altered. My brain has magically been altered. And I am new, and now I appreciate the value of Dwarven tradition, because I have demonstrated my worth to people like you.
Perhaps you should stand over there instead.
Fuck you. Alright, maybe he said that because he's working. And not because I'm a brand. Okay, maybe he just said that. That would be fine.
Perhaps you should stand over there instead.
Excuse me, I can't chat.
That's okay, she seems busy.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
Thank you for being polite. What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I'm a Grey Warden. I'm not afraid of the deep roads.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrimont have both been sending out small teams these days.
Interesting.
Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Normally I hate nobles, but I think I remember Rica saying something about how she recognized the value of lower castes. Maybe once this person becomes a noble, they won't become a jackass about it, and they'll be willing to help lower classes and castes. Maybe. Maybe if I get them to work a band, but if it's theirs, and they'll help, and it'll build a better life for them, as long as it doesn't, use it to beat down those below me, and I'll help her. I'll help her. If I can. Wait. Is there something else? Yeah, there is. A book.
Very well.
The Legion of Steel. This is what I wish what they kept me from doing, and which I always wanted to do, Leliana. Paragon Caridin vanished in the 11th year of the reign of King Valtor, and with the Paragon, the entire process for golem manufacture was lost. Expeditions were sent into the deep roads to track him, but the Darkspawn drove them all back. Finally, in the 2nd year of the reign of Queen Getha, 126 golems, the entire Legion of Steel, was sent to recover the Paragon. None returned. That was stupid. That was an act of idiocy, Queen Getha. The Shaper of Golems refused to support any further attempts to find Caridin. Good idea. And the Paragon was officially declared dead. The Shaper never recovered from the loss of an entire legion of golems. Yeah, I bet they didn't. And never again allowed an all-golem regiment in the Deep Roads. Smart and good move. From the Stone Halls of the Dwarves by Brother Genitivi. Chantry Scholar, of course. Well, that was a thoroughly depressing and unhappy story. I'm sorry, Shale. The dwarven leaders back then were idiots who treated you and your kind like dirt. They did not fully appreciate your value.
Are you looking for records of the Grey Wardens? We have many.
Thank you. That would be nice to look at in the future.
I'm sorry, you'll have to bother someone else with your questions.
That's okay. You're working. That's why you are the way you are. I can respect that. Okay. Deep Roads. There isn't a dwarf alive who remembers the Deep Roads as they once were. They were the network of tunnels that joined the Tigers together. To be honest, it isn't even right to give them such a simple term as tunnels. No, it isn't. They are works of art. They are. With centuries of planning demonstrated in the geometry of their walls, with the statues of the Paragons that watch over travelers, and the flow of lava that keeps the Deep Roads lit and warm. The cloud gazes up on the surface talk of the Imperial highway built by the Magisters of old, a raised walkway that crossed thousands of miles, something that could only have been built by magic. Perhaps it is comparable to the Deep Roads, although we dwarves didn't need magic. It's comparable, but the Deep Roads are better. It's fallen in disrepair in a way that the Deep Roads have not. Seriously, it's much more Deep Roads. It's much more in disrepair. They needed magic. And the Deep Roads are just as grand and more specific. The Deep Roads are grander, because we did it without magic and they still last. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. The Darkspawn rule the Deep Roads now. When Orzammar sealed off the entrances to the Deep Roads, abandoning everything that lay out there, we handed over the kingdom that was to those black bastards forever. To think that there are Genlocks crawling over Bonamar now, tearing down our statues and defiling our greatest works. Corruption covers everything we built out there. Every dwarf who goes out and comes back says that it gets worse with each passing year. The fallen is spreading a little further. They may have black hearts, but they're not actually black. I mean, some corrupted spiders appear that way, some of them, but that's usually blood. Their blood is black, but they have more of a sickly green, gray, yellowish complexion. Waxy something. Grayish, yeah. Greenish, rotten, mossy, light mossy, snot-like, mucus-like, yeah, complexion. And the cloud gazers think the Darkspawn are gone just because they aren't spilling out onto the surface? Huh. One day when Orzammar is gone for good, they'll find out differently. Those Darkspawn won't have anywhere else to go but up. And they'll do it. This is true. The surface folk will have themselves a blight that will never end. I hope not, but it's possible. Transcript of a conversation with a member of the Dwarven Mining Caste. 890 Blessed. Let me tell you that our roads, I'm sure, from what I can remember that I've seen of them, are more impressive than their Imperial Highway. The Imperial Highway is good for humans. It's really good for humans, but our Deep Roads are better. Of course, we could have done more to stop what happened. Unless it's actually Mr. Maker's fault for everything that occurred. Loves of diligence. The search for the true prophet. This tattered tome explores the possibility that Andraste was a powerful mage, and not the Maker's chosen. It seems this book was saved from a fire at some point. I bet it was. Thank you, Chantry. Well, this is one of the good things for the Shaper. It's saving a book like this. Gifts can be sold to a merchant and given to certain party members to influence their. Well, there's someone else here besides me who loves books. But we'll save it. Traditional dwarven folk songs. Nug sits in the mug. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Rica and I used to sing this together. Nug sits in the mug. Nug wiggles his ears. You catch the Nug, he slips away. Nug gets to live another day. Nug sits in the mug. Nug wiggles his toes. You hook the Nug, he slips away. Now the Nug runs off to play. Rica was always better at these songs than I was. My voice was always kind of like a foghorn, but she had a nice, light, fun, vivacious voice and demeanor, and she could dance so prettily and cute. Nug sits in the mug. Nug wriggles his nose. You tickled the Nug, he laughs away. Now the Nug sits in on my plate. Nug pancakes, a well-loved dwarven nursery rhyme. Yes, it is. I remember singing it. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wiggles his ears. You catch the Nug, he slips away. Nug gets to live another day. Nug sits in the mug. Nug wiggles his toes. You hook the Nug, he slips away. Now the Nug runs off to play. Nug sits in the mug. Nug wriggles his nose. You tickle the Nug, he laughs away. Now the Nug sits on my plate. Yep, I can remember singing that with Rica. Maybe we'll sing it to Endrin together. I'm sure she's already sung it to him. The life that could have been, the life that I wanted, the life that was denied to me. The Shaper's life. The blessing of the Shaper is given only to those who walk with the stone. It is a path that cuts deep and the road is far from secure. You don't need to walk with the stone to understand the history of our people. But those who desire to work in memory must first honor it. Document the stone, protect her, and present a new history to the memories. Only then will the blessing of the Shaper be upon you, from the Shaper's life. I believe in the memories, but I don't believe in the stone. And the memories do not come of the stone. Because we should be part of the memories too. And your stone has cursed us. Your impression of the stone, because it's probably not even what the stone truly is. It's only your belief about it, which is wrong.
Immediately.
It's nice to get all these books. I'll read them, and then I'll talk to the Shaper Memories. It'll be nice to talk to the Shaper Memories. See his reaction to me.
Immediately.
Oh yeah, we have to take these. Silly me. I'll check my gloves after I read. Talk to him. Yes, Stone's greeting, friend. You will fight ceaselessly in the Legion of the Dead. Motto of the Legion of the Dead. The Legion accepts all. So I was told by one of the Legionnaires himself, a dwarf who waited quietly at the entrance to the deep roads, for the rest of his unit to assemble. They gathered slowly, each equipped with heavy armor and fine weapons, each painted with grim tattoos applied at their funerals the night previous. For that is the nature of the Legion. They are all dead. Any dwarf may join the Legion, so long as he is willing to give up everything he has. The funeral rites are somber. A final goodbye is said to family and loved ones. Any material goods are dispersed to heirs, and last words are said, and then it is done. The new Legionnaire marches out into the deep roads, never to return. The Legion fights against the Darkspawn to the last, striking one final blow against the monsters that have claimed so much of their homeland. Many join the Legion to clear the slate. Criminals join to avoid punishment. The dishonored join so that their homes and families need not suffer on their behalf. The bankrupted join so their debts might be forgiven. A few join for a last chance at glory, but the Legion takes them too. This group hopes to reach the fabled fortress of Orzammar, once the Legion's home, associated with the greatest of the Paragons. Orzammar is a holy place. Its loss the last great blow against the dwarven kingdoms, and its recapture would be a glorious signal to all of Orzammar. But capture it or no, all of these warriors will die in the deep roads. It is a sobering thought. And I now know why the dwarves say the Legion's charge is the battlefield's most frightening sight. They have nothing left to lose. From the Stone Halls of the Dwarves, by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar. Good work, brother. You know, there are a lot of castlists that could be just as fearsome, because often they have nothing to lose and everything to gain by fighting. And they could be just as fierce. I know I was, and have been. Orzammar politics. As dangerous as it is to mistake a dwarf's caste, it is far more deadly to mistake his alliances among the noble houses of Orzammar. Oh, yes. Everyone in the city is allied with someone, whether by blood or by word. The nobles do not engage directly in commerce themselves, as that is the domain of the merchant caste. But they do serve as patrons. They invest in shops or in artisans' work, and in turn reap a share of the profits as well as a measure of the credit. Merchants and warriors alike benefit from the service of a prestigious patron. Yes, they do. The relative power of each house is ever-changing. It is usually safe to assume that whichever noble house holds the throne is at the top of the heap, but below that things grow into a tangled mess. Houses ally with one another by marriage. They earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them, or from their own bloodlines, win provings. They earn it when artisans they patronize become sought after or well regarded, or when the merchants they invest in become successful. The degrees of power that these achievements confer is so murky, even to the dwarves, that it isn't unusual for nobles to challenge each other to provings over whose smith forges better belt buckles, yes, or whose servants have the best manners, and it's ridiculous. Nor is it out of the ordinary to find two merchants arguing over whose noble patron has won the most acclaim, for the rank of the patron is the rank of the client. And oftentimes it is performative, for the noble to see the person argue on their behalf, or for the fighter to fight on behalf, either to get a position or to advance. Trust me, it's that bad. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the assembly, oh, those people, where the Deschers, representatives of each noble house, meet. Although the king technically rules Orzammar, kings are elected by the assembly, and so each king must work constantly to maintain the support of the Deschers. Kings who prove unpopular find their heirs deemed unacceptable to inherit the throne. Power then passes to another house. From In the Pursuit of Knowledge, the Travels of a Chantry Scholar, by Brother Genetivi. And that is why the conflict is happening now. The chant of light is almost never heard in the halls of Orzammar. This is hardly surprising, for unlike the elves, who were literally abandoned by their gods, yes, or the Devinters who worship dragons, the dwarves have no gods at all. But it would be nice to have the chant of light come here, and to shove him down their damn face, and to give the finger to the Paragons and the ancestors that have damned me all my life. Even the concept of worship is foreign in Orzammar. Instead, the dwarves seem to venerate the stone, a name they give the earth itself. This seems practical for a people living underground, if a bit unimaginative. For guidance in spiritual matters, they turn to their ancestors. These ancestors, who are said to have returned to the stone, communicate their wishes to the living via brutal trials by combat, called provings. The ancestors' collective wisdom is maintained by the Shaper, which can apparently store records in Lyrium itself. Sit above the ancestors, above even kings, are the Paragons, dwarves who have achieved such greatness that they are elevated almost to godhood. These are the great figures holding up the hallway that leads from the surface, the first glimpse of the Orzammar that outsiders see, and that we see when we leave. Leaving behind all that grandeur that never did anything for me. The praise of the humble Nug. I once served a human some Nug, and he proclaimed that it was like eating an unholy union of pork and a hare. The idea disturbed him so much that he decided to decline to finish the serving, and made himself content with some stale bread. Of course, this only goes to show that surfacers, humans or otherwise, have tragically unrefined palates. The Nug is surely the most delicious animal I have ever tasted. Only a dead man would not salivate at the thought of a tender morsel of roast Nug melting in his mouth. The Paragon Varan, although his house is fallen, shall always be remembered for discovering the wonders of Nug flesh. Admittedly, it was only discovered out of desperation when he was separated from his legion and lost in the deep roads for a week. But we won't hold that against the good Paragon. Well, Nug pancakes and nuggets, my own children love these, are the Nug dishes one encounters most often. I remember, we never really had those much. Once, we got the house with Barat, and Rica started training, and she succeeded, and I kind of got my job as a head heavy. Every once in a while, we'd have nug pancakes and nuggets. Usually, she had more. It was more about her learning, because of course we didn't want to get fat, so we were on diets. That would not have worked well for Barat, would it? Nug can be prepared other interesting and often elegant ways. The late King Ansgar Adukin adored Nug, seared on a hot metal plate and finished in the oven, and dressed in a cream sauce flavored with deep mushrooms. Sounds good except for the deep mushrooms. I hate mushrooms. You must be careful when using the mushrooms from the deep road because they have often grown close to dark smoke bodies. Yes. They say that is what gives them their unique flavor and intoxicating scent, but also means that consuming too many of them might result in curious afflictions of the mind. And for humans and elves, oh boy. From a praise of the Hungle Nub by Bragan Tolban, honored chef to House Adukin. The Nug was okay. There's other food out there. And here's one of those that would not allow me to be a shaper, just like the other guy.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
How do you know who I am?
The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you.
I am going to do.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
We need to get rid of Wynn for this. Wynn, I need someone who is much more morally flexible than you.
Pigeon crap.
Indeed.
Yes.
Man of honor, but practical.
Yes. Vashaden.
This is your home, Shell. Not really your home is with me, Ravikard, but this is the kind of place you came from. You might as well know about it, just as I am.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
No. He's an official. If there's anything wrong with these, he will have to report them. He will undermine them. He will cast them aside. And Balin and Rica will suffer for it. Either they will be honest, so what is the point of knowing? Either they will be genuine, I should say, and what is the point of knowing? Or they won't be, in which case, the plan that is required to advance the interests of Balin and Rica will be undermined. Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
How did the caste system come to be?
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloadlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Jotgyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
Tell me some of Orzammar's history.
Perhaps the books here can make up for the lack of attention you paid your elders. We were a great empire once, and our land stretched through the deep roads. Kal Shirak was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
I was castless, you moron. How the hell was I supposed to learn anything? What I learned purely by luck, because my sister was a noble hunter. What do you think? You think we have schools? You think we have education? How are we supposed to learn? What elders? I'm castless. We're not allowed anything. We don't even exist in your books. How dare you sit there and go, you should listen to your elders who don't exist and don't know anything. So we don't know anything. We're not allowed to learn. Who would teach a duster anything? Certainly not you. You wouldn't allow me to become one of you. And so you sit here and you condemn me for asking a question to get your insight on certain things, like any decent scholar would, about things they may already know but are interested in your interpretation. And you sit there and go, why didn't you listen to your elders? Because I wasn't allowed any because of people like you. What a catch-22. What a total catch-22. On the one hand, I'm supposed to learn, but you don't allow me to learn. So how am I supposed to learn from my elders when I'm not allowed any elders? You piece of shit. How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle. But Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
Golems like this?
Yes. We have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us.
No.
We pay a good sum
No.
for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery.
Aunt Shale is not yours to own. She's my friend, and she's her own person. Where's Kalsharok?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kalsharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Neither would I. How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
I know what a Tig is. I don't want to hear you lecture me. It's like basic Orzammar again.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
How did the cast this? What does the Shaper of Memories do?
The Shaperate guards Orzammar's
I know
knowledge.
this, but
We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
but you don't pay attention to us. Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
How did the caste system come to be? Here it comes. I almost hesitate. I'm going to just ask and get it over with.
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloodlik, was the wisest and was chosen king.
This.
His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Chatyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
I know what the difference is between an ancestor and a paragon. I don't want him to go, how can you not know? Even though I'm interested in his own attitude, I'm not going to. I already had to deal with that once. It was particularly galling because I'm casteless and I'm not allowed the elders to teach me. What about the casteless?
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. They've justified their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young.
Go to fucking hell. I should take my sword and cut you down and kill you right fucking now. I should kill you and put you to death right now.
I'm sorry. I can speak with you as a warden, but I cannot discuss your belief that you have previously been to Orzammar. Your presence here was not recorded in the memories. You did not exist.
You son of a bitch! You fucking bastard! You goddamn fucker! I should kill you right fucking now. I should cut you down and watch you bleed and watch you die. And then I should find everything about your history and destroy it and wipe it so no one ever knows that you lived. I did nothing to deserve this. No one did nothing to deserve this. I was not my ancestor if they did anything wrong. So to hell with them. Who cares? And so what if I don't have any damn family? I do. Rica, who's the queen's concubine. Who's Balin's concubine. Who's going to be king. And I wouldn't have made king. Because I want him to force you out of your damn job. But I'm not going to because then I'd be just as shitty as you. Using family connections to crush you when you're probably competent, just really shitty and bigoted. So that's why I wasn't allowed to be a shaper. I knew it was going to be that. I knew you were going to say that. Because that's what's wrong with you and wrong with Orzammar and why I hate this city. But it still hurts. But that tome that I've been asked to recover, it only exists for me. I'm going to take that tome, and I'm going to take it with me, and I'm not going to give it back to you. So those memories are mine. You denied me memories of who and what I was, like you have done all castless. For eons. Well, we're going to take some of those memories back and keep them for ourselves. What do you think of that? Go to hell. Burn in the damn lava. May your wonderful ancestors crap on you. And may your wonderful paragons break wind in your face. I hate you. But thank you for letting me know that I now exist. It's so nice to know that I now exist. And am worthy of existing. See, Zathrian, you had it easy. I have to be strong. And I have to be composed. Before I fill the Lord's task, I'm going to do some. I'm just going to check some places out here. Let's see.
We simply must reopen the gates. I cannot live without my fresh plum jam from the surface.
Ugh. Stand over there.
Oh! I'm saving your stinking city.
Ugh. Stand over there.
Frivolity and bigotry. Unearned and unjustified bigotry. I should tell Balin about you when I get things done. And tell Balin what to do to you. You haven't done a quarter of the things I or any of my people have done. I should give you the Lesky.
You know, after all this is over, I wouldn't mind getting a job here. I could sing, tell stories, help the king get items from high shelves.
Greetings.
Thank you.
Ancestors watch your path, Grey Warden.
Thank you. I needed that civility.
News of the hour. Does Lord Harriman think that Orzammar can hold off the dwarves forever? The Assembly demands an answer. Sorry, can't talk.
I understand.
Briar's work is never done.
Orzammar welcomes the Grey Warden.
Thank you.
Orzammar welcomes the Grey Warden.
Thank you.
I hope you'll support Lord Harriman.
No, I'm going to back my family, who I love and care about tremendously and deeply. Just as you do your own.
What do you want? Are you one of those tiresome noble hunters? Neither my sons nor I are interested.
I am Natia, a Grey Warden.
Ah, such a noble profession. Cleaning up whatever dark-spawn stragglers make it to the surface. You must be very proud.
I'm proud of the fact that I've done more in one day, in 1 hour, than you've done in your entire life, holding your unjustly haughty and self-righteous head above the betters who scrimp and bow and serve you, and probably would dearly love to see you end up in lava, lady. Maybe someday I'll get paid to do it. I really wouldn't mind. Of course, I'd take that dress and give it to my sister. It looks a lot better on her than it ever will on you. And I'd do that first before after killing you and dumping you in the lava in a fight. See how far you get with me. Are you Lady Dace?
I am. And what business would you have with me?
You might want to look at these papers.
Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it.
Oh, no, so wonder you're so haughty, arrogant, and officious. You're insecure in your power. You have to rely on your male father to do things. You would, of course, like to be able to do it yourself. You may even think you're smarter than him. But no. You have to refer it, like a common courtier to the real person that makes the decisions in your family. How nice that must be for you. Tell me, is that jewels and dress just for show? Where is he? I'll bring these to him.
He is leading a deep roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient Tig. It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt.
How would I know where to find your father?
He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go?
Maybe I should make you wait for my answer. Yes, I'll leave right now.
So Balin's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
And you'll know how to vote. Yes, you are such honorable, noble people. I am in awe at your integrity and moral fiber.
Are you the Grey Warden they're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, this will be fun.
I just get paid to speak the truth. If you have an issue, speak to my employer.
Classy.
From what I've heard of dwarven politics, I'm almost surprised we haven't seen blood running these streets.
Quite astute, Leliana. Quite astute. The correct observation.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for
2
want of a
years.
king.
By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Brosca didn't go alone, Aqua. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha! I'll...
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman. Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled.
Who are you?
I'm Loylanar Ivo, warrior, which is more than I can say for that useless sod.
Who was he?
Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Brosca. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino.
I know who she is, but I might as well tell me what you think.
The only paragon in the last 4 generations. Quite an honor for a girl from the Smith caste.
Why did Bronken go into the deep roads?
Chasing some old treasure. She was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics,
and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her.
Well, she's actually right about a lot of things, but it's probably stupid of her not to let other people come after her. Unless, given how dwarves are, she was worried they'd take credit for it. How did she become a paragon?
She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly a third.
That would do it.
Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped.
That would help.
The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Brosca, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name.
Brosca was married to that drunk?
Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith. And Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation.
Is that what you two were arguing about, Brosca?
It's been 2 years since Brosca left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Ogren wants to keep risking lives searching.
Why does Ogren care so much about Brosca?
She's still his wife, isn't she?
Okay.
Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him.
Ouch! I should get going now.
Did you see any guardsmen? Tell them Ogren was at it again.
There's one thing I need to check on.
What? Is Ogren back again?
Yeah. Who's Ogren?
Ogren's a drunken wretch.
I know.
He comes up
But I'm
here
wondering
2-3
what
times
about
a
this
week,
gilded
hounding
thing.
people
I mean,
to
what was
lead
that gilded
some
thing about that he was
suicidal
talking
rescue
about?
mission after Brosca. Gets quite violent about
Yeah,
it.
let's see what this was
Scared
about.
if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino.
What happened?
All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of Smiths would return safely from the deep roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Ogren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Brosca's honor. Then Ogren starts screaming and runs him through.
Oh. Wasn't the duel to first blood?
It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from
the gelding.
engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled.
Ah. I should get going
If
now.
you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
Okay. Well, at least he cares for his wife.
Get back to Dust Town where you belong.
Piss off, dirtbag! You know, there's a part of me. What do you do? What good do you do? What do you serve? Except sit there and pretend to lord it over one and look around. I like to see you in a fight. I like to see you do anything useful, like smith, or be a merchant, or sell anything, or anything worthwhile at all. Have any sort of talent. Be like Morgan, who made us all that money through creating those potent lyrium potions. Do any actual real hard work of compromises or deal making or anything that, other than being pampered and given whatever you want, and then somehow, for some bizarre reason, given the opportunity to cast judgment on others. There is such a part of me that wants to remember each and every one of these people in their slights. Each and every one. And then when Bailey comes into power, I use it against it, but I won't do that.
Good day.
Thank you, sir. Good day to you, too.
Very well.
Okay. It is agreed that no rules of procedure were explicitly broken, but a 5-day filibuster is nonetheless worthy of censure. Division of House Gorosimote's property was deliberated for a full season, and forfeiture of the southern estate deemed a necessity, since the birth of young Cade necessitates his elevation to noble status, and it is unthinkable for a noble's family to live in the slums. It is the responsibility of the father to accommodate the placement of his family. It is not possible to simply generate new space in the diamond quarter without compromising Tig's structural integrity. And that's part of the other reason, the more noble reason why you don't see more of us. But sometimes that's a big excuse. because they can find ways to do it right. Lord Dace's comment that if Lord Orzammar didn't want a new heir, he shouldn't have slummed for Conquest. Fuck Lord Dace. He can rot. Was indeed inappropriate. Yes, it was. But the proper procedure for resolution through proving was followed. Both parties agreed to accept his retraction, and that matter is considered separate and close. Well, that's good. But he shouldn't have. But he should have had other punishments. They shouldn't have had to fight to prove it. The decision of the assembly regarding the placement of the Duncoat clan stands. Because here's the thing. What if the person who fought Dace wasn't tough enough to force him to retract matters?
Is it true there's civil war on the surface, too?
Yes, there is. Thank you for your maturity and concern. For worrying about all realms. Because you realize that the mutual relationships.
As you...
I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down.
If I see any nugs, I'll send them your way.
Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Yeah, I'll help you. Nug Wrangler Boromir has lost his nug inventory. Find one of them and get him back on his feet. Records. Find records of Orta's family in Orton Tig. Orta has asked you to search for the long-lost house Orton records in Orton Tig. Long-lost house Orton records in Orton Tig. She believes that one daughter of the house may have survived the Darkspawn, and that she is a descendant of that daughter. If Orta finds proof that this is true, she'll be raised up as a noble. Okay. We've got the thief. Let's do what we can here before we go on any trips. A rune stone, interesting.
Hey, what's down there?
Oh, it's one of them nugs. You wrangle the nug into a box, ready to deliver to Boromir.
I shall do it.
On the Shapers, Codex Update. Orzammar has carved a legacy from the stone, but history is more than the comings and goings that fill the streets. These caverns are old cuts and well-traveled. The true will of the stone is revealed, far from the halls of politics and commerce. The Shaper must step away from the familiar and seek out revelations from the frontier, or buried secrets from paths abandoned. The Shaper must first walk away if he is to return. First steps from the Shaper's life. And part of that movement, would be if you would step outside of your traditional hidebound beliefs. There's more than one way to explore and grapple with the new and the different, and the challenging, and to learn. And part of that, a fundamental part, is to be accepting of others, or to be willing to learn about others, or new things in new places, in ways that you have not. Instead of being hidebound scholastics, engaging in hidebound, rigid, blinkered scholasticism. Nug. Hip deep and mad nugs. Our screams deafen their keen ears. We will be nug poop. From songs that only nugs can hear by Paragon Ibrian, 584 Exalted. Hip deep and mad nugs. Our screams deafen their keen ears. We will be nug poop. The nug is an omnivore common to the deep roads, a hairless creature that is almost blind as well as completely docile. It spends most of its time wading in shallow pools as well as mud pits, feeding on small insects, worms, and in a pinch, limestone and simple metals. Interesting. Indeed, the digestive system of the nug is legendary, able to make a meal out of almost anything a nug finds in the cavern floors. Nugs reproduce rapidly, spreading it to any dish within the deep roads they can find, and serving to support a variety of predators such as giant spiders and deep stalkers. Yuck. So too do dwarves make meals out of them. Nugs are, in the proper slum portion of Orzammar, one of the most common sources of meat available. Yep. Some dwarves even domesticate the creatures, claiming to find the creatures' high-pitched squeaks pleasing. Leliana.
Orzammar welcomes you.
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell.
Oh, I got good news for you.
Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found.
Certainly.
I hope Lord Harrowmont wins. He always had better taste in clothes.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop.
Greetings to you too.
There are a lot of you, and I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying?
Are you all right?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Oh, maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad thing. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work I've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself.
Okay. I kind of know, but...
Of course we are. You should know that.
I do.
Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck.
Oh, okay. Let me see your wares.
Right. Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
I wonder. I hear more squeaking.
I could never go to the surface. Must be so strange there.
At first it is. When we first came out, that intense vertigo, and I had to hold on to Papa Duncan to get my bearings. It was frightening. But then the majesty and beauty and just the pure amazing expanse of it helps so much.
Is it true the Darkspawn are attacking the surface?
Yes, they are.
One day the Paragon Branca will return. Oh, and on that day...
So, I've been hearing rumors that a certain wine merchant is falling behind on his payments.
I can't imagine what you mean. I pay my expenses. What about the expenses your good friend Jarvia incurs with providing your protection? It's not easy ensuring nothing bad happens, that no one decides to just burn everything in your store. My store! Please, I don't have much. Business isn't good. People are scared. Tell Jarvia I'll get her money. Jarvia is not happy with your promises, old man. Now let's go inside and see what you've been holding back.
Angled and hug. Well, you know what? So Jarvia's running the show. Now that Barada's gone.
Blood and damnation.
Pigeon
Brosca.
crap.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something. Well, well. Looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours? You get out of here. This is private business.
Looks more like extortion.
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like. Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold.
Oh, you're trying to extort me. I've known this business.
I can't say what might happen.
I can. Did you say Jarvia's running the Carta?
And what the sod do you know about? Hey, you're the Duster, the one who acts Barat. Jarvia's been looking for you, and I bet she'd rather deal with you herself. Enjoy your last night alive, Duster.
Oh. Well, that was nice. Yeah, go ahead and run away. Yeah, run away.
Ancestors, bless you for saving my poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude.
Jarvia runs the Carta? Know anything about that?
She's a monster, plain and simple.
Yeah, she's with
Carta
Barat.
used to prey only on their own kind.
Gee,
but
thanks.
since Jarvia stepped in, they even dare the upper city.
Interesting.
Whoever takes the throne had better root out the whole nest of them. That Carta's worse than a pack of cave rats.
We know about a Carta.
A band of castless thugs. They're to blame for all the crime in Orzammar.
Well, there are castles, yeah.
They're criminals, and the children of criminals. The ancestors themselves declared them irredeemable.
Check your eyes before I black you. The castle saved you.
I suppose there are a few decent souls born in the lot.
Thanks.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm grateful for your help, but I don't think we have any more to talk about. Did you have something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
I'd like to see what you have for sale.
I'm showing you the lowest prices I can afford. I assure you.
Alright, fine. Just fine. I shouldn't give this guy any damn business at all. I really shouldn't give him any damn business at all. Or maybe I should. That's good enough. Yes, that's good enough. That's good enough. Let me check one last thing about this guy.
Did you have something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
I'd like to see what you have for sale.
I'm showing you the lowest prices I can afford. I assure you.
Sure you are. Well, these are cheap. These are actually cheap. And that's really cheap. Fine. Let's go give Boromir another nug. So I helped the guy and he kind of crapped on me. That felt awful.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
Alright.
The great Paragon Branca will never return. The ancestors. One day the Paragon Branca will return. Oh, and on that day.
Stay in Dust Town, Brand. You're not wanted up here.
Too bad. I'm a Grey Warden, and I'm going to come here whether you like it or not, because I'm going to save this place while you stand by and let Balin and Harrowmont kill each other, because you're too much of a coward to pick a side.
We are honored to serve you, Grey Warden.
Thank you, sir. It is an honor to work alongside of you as well.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost and lost. For you know what it is to mourn.
Brosca. Pigeon crap.
Indeed.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? I can move aside. I don't have much to bring them.
Who are you?
My name is Filda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul.
What happened to him?
It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them.
Did anyone go after him?
The captains don't want to lose anyone searching for stray men. Too many were taken by Darkspawn that way.
Of course there are Darkspawn in there. We shouldn't abandon him. I'll look for him if you want.
How? There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself.
I'm a Grey Warden. That's what we do.
Warden? So you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good widow Filda. We'll do our best.
Good job, Mom.
Find me as soon as you return.
Good job, Mom. Giving her comfort like that. You met a woman named Filda in the Orzammar Commons who was praying for his son, Ruck, a smith who was lost in the Deep Roads expedition 5 years ago. Filda does not know if Ruck is alive, dead, or worse. You have agreed to look for signs of Ruck in the Deep Roads. I think the praying was pointless, but she's desperate, and I want to help her. I understand why. She doesn't have anything else you can do.
It's been so dangerous ever since the king took ill.
And now he's dead.
What's one of those doing up here?
A brand in the commons. And outfitted like a topsider, no less. Good. Let people see Castless have a purpose.
Okay.
The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for.
I'm confused. I think he wants good things for me, kind of, sort of, possibly for selfish reasons. I just wish he wouldn't call me Brand in the process. I guess he's a work in progress. Your allegiance to this Balin is clear. Why?
Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not.
Which is true. Some say he killed his father.
Just as many say Harrowmont.
Good point.
Neither are Paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade.
Appreciate your honesty.
Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine.
Okay.
The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change.
It's nice to hear people say good things about Balin besides Rica. Blight is coming. Orzammar can't be divided.
Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be.
Yes.
Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to them.
Not if the Blight wins out and covers the world, there won't be. And then you'll be dead too, because they'll come at you from two directions. Through that door right over there, and down from the deep roads. Let me see what you have in your store.
I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Let's nice to know that at least someone is for him. This is not bad, but the stuff I have now is better. Interesting. For mage, but we've already got good stuff for mage. Good stuff there. Oh, that's kind of expensive. But we can afford it in ways that we never could before. Tome of the Mortal Vessel. Once we get some money, we'll go buy them. Oh, that's an attribute thing.
Pigeon crap.
Of all the...
Horse.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes, my friend?
You are my friend too. Now flasks. It's okay.
Like to buy something, I hope. I want that surface wealth coming back to us, Balin's ascension willing.
Let me see what you have in your store.
I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Nah, that's not the type of thing he has. Oh, okay.
Blood and damnation. Indeed.
Horse. Yes.
Yes.
Orzammar welcomes you.
Thank you.
Maker's blessing on you, sister.
Well, thank you, sir. Maker's blessing on you as well. You know what? Even though I don't believe in him, I've been around Leliana enough to know that it's important to her. And it's important to you. And I think that you can do good things here. I think you can really help the castless, for example. May his divine light spirit always light your way. I don't believe in him, but it'll help this guy. And what I think he's doing is valuable.
Ah, it's a great pleasure to meet a fellow believer.
I'm not, but...
I'm Brother Burgle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
This is a good idea. Because if you're castless, the one benefit is, even though there's discrimination against elves, elves are treated as having value under the chant of light, even though... And there are people who do disagree with how the canticles of Shartan were not allowed, and even about elves not being ordained. But at least they're treated as people. They're treated as people, even if treated as second-class people discriminated against. They're given services and so on, and administered to. And they are taught that they have value. And there's no bigotry against dwarves. And because there's no bigotry against dwarves, what they do is they can teach the castless that each and every single one of them matters and is worth something. They're not just trash. That they don't have to believe that they're garbage because their ancestors, hundreds of years ago even, did something bad based on what some noble thought was bad. And now they're worth nothing for centuries, which is insane. Here they can be taught that they have worth, that they have value, that they have meaning to their lives. And they need that. It helps give them a sense of self-respect. A willingness to work for a better life in a better way, and to believe in something, and to have hope and dreams and desires. I know why, but I want to hear his views.
There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it. Yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers.
No one worships my ancestors. My ancestors were nothing.
You don't have to believe that. All of us are equal in the Maker's sight.
Yes. And this is one of the things about the Maker that I do like. This is one of the things I also appreciate. This is something the elves don't offer either. Because the elven gods are only for the elves. But the Maker's gods, and there is bad to this, but there's also good, teaches that everyone is the Maker's children. Now, I don't appreciate him dumping Darkspawn in our background. If he doesn't want us worshipping our forefathers, he could have come and talked to us. But I think that right now they could be very valuable for them. Whose permission do you need to open a chantry? And this is exactly what I wanted to hear. This is exactly what I'm hoping that he will do, because the castless need this so bad.
The Shaper controls changes in Orzammar's structure and
yes, they
society.
do.
I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting.
Of course. I know the Shaper well.
Could you talk to him? You're from the surface. You know the Chantry's good works. A Chantry here could provide more than just spiritual guidance. It could be a place of education, of refuge for widows and orphans, a place of charity. Too many in Orzammar spend their lives overlooked.
Yes, like I said. Very well, I'll speak with them.
I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always.
If this chantry could help just one person as much as it helped me, it's worth any trouble.
Please, let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Yes. Ah, there you are. We'll go into that later. This is too important. Wait, there's a document. And
so I am led to understand that the sister is a follower of this Maker.
Am I the sister? Oh, that's so cute. It's like you're my big brother. Or sister. Or whatever.
I am a creature of stone. I rather doubt that we would be related in any shape or form.
Oh, I didn't mean literally. Don't you think that people can be related in spirit?
I notice that humans tend to believe in a great number of things that are not true, even when given evidence to the contrary.
Believing in things when there is no proof is what faith is all about, Shale.
Believing in things when there is no proof is what gullibility is all about.
So I am gullible now.
I take it we are no longer sisters in spirit.
As you say.
Okay. Pursuant to Order 51A, no dwarf of indeterminate caste may conduct business in the commons. This was subsequently clarified by the Assembly to mean that the owning and operating of stalls or kiosks is limited to those of identified and approved house names with traceable ancestor lineage of at least 3 generations. Oh, great. Exceptions include individual purchases of goods or services from established stalls or kiosks, provided the funds are presented at the opening of the transaction at the discretion of the stall or kiosk owner. I'm sure you understand the need to maintain strict quality control of all goods and services that flow from Orzammar, whatever, especially when we are making a concerted effort to encourage outside investment. The standards of Dust Town and that of the common brand are simply not sufficient. Your trade permit is hereby denied. Oh, gee, thanks. Yeah, we want to control the trade among the existing merchant class, and we don't want to share. We have a cartel and an oligopoly working, and we want to control it and the prices, and we don't want competition. From a judgment of the Assembly Trade Council regarding Meadall's reclaimed wares. It is agreed that no rules of procedure were explicitly... Now, he's probably a piece of garbage, too, who mistreats the castless he uses, but still. It is agreed that no rules of procedure were explicitly broken, but a 5-day filibuster is nonetheless worthy of... Oh, we've done that one. Okay. Well, I'll be back for you shortly.
Good day to you.
Thank you. Good day to you too, sir. And I'll be back for that very shortly.
Is it true all the wardens are dead?
No.
I'll trust Vala.
Thank you. I'm alive, and so is Alistair.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
Good to hear, my friend. You know what? It'll be nice to shove this down the annoying, obnoxious, self-righteous shepherd's throat. To show him what for. That signpost. I don't think I checked it before.
It is begun. I shall do it.
Don't tell me you're...
One day the Paragon Branca will return.
Oh, he's just sitting and relaxing. He's not poor.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more out there.
Okay. Do one more once over here, and then after that, we just keep our eye out. Lost. No, yeah, got it. Don't forget to... Oh, wait, that's this about washing my hands? You brought a nug to Boromir. Don't forget to wash your hands. We'll go to Tapsters after Burkle. I don't want to go to Dust Town. I really don't.
of the hour. Is Lord Balin...
Very well.
Outside Deacon, Shield of Orzammar.
News of the hour. Lord Harrowmont's insinuations against Lord Balin reveal the truth. Could Harrowmont be the true cause of King Edred's death? Shocking allegation.
Interesting. I know he's just saying to say it, but there is evidence of him. I remember that being stated earlier. Okay, so it's going to be fun talking to this guy and making him build a chantry. I'm looking forward to that after his little comment that I didn't exist prior to becoming a Grey Warden.
I'll be done.
That Rica didn't exist. That we were not alive. That we weren't human or real people. Or didn't deserve to be.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
I would like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request. Have you grown so fond of the Surfacer's ways in your brief absence? Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
I would like your permission to open a chantry here. I'm sure you're going to love this.
That is an odd request.
A fantastic one.
Have you grown so fond of the Surfacer's ways in your brief absence?
Yes, indeed I have. Because they've always treated me like I was a human being. Even if they didn't know or that I was a person. Even if they didn't know I was a Grey Warden. Yes, many of them gave me veneration they otherwise would not. But even when they went against me, it was because of things that they believed I had done. That I had betrayed King Caelin because of what Loghain had said. And Loghain was based, however wrongly in their view, on accomplishments from the past, not his family's birth. So I'm a lot more fond of their ways than yours, because I've been treated a heck of a lot better by them than I ever was by you people. And the ancestors have done nothing for me, and neither have the Paragons. I ask only because it is the right thing to do.
Or perhaps because a certain returned surfacer has spread his fervor.
Not really.
My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
Because the ancestors can go to hell. They can go sit in the lava and burn and rot for all I care. Because the ancestors have done nothing for me, except curse me. The ancestors are dead and in dust for God knows how long. Yet I'm supposed to care about them? At least the Maker's supporters care about the castles and care about everyone. And has some divine power instead of being long dead irrelevant people. And your 2,000 years of tradition is why I'm not considered to have even existed until I became a Grey Warden. It's why my daughter had, my beloved sister Rica had to basically prostitute herself. It helped turn my mother Calla into what she is. It helped make me be a criminal and cut me off from being a shaper like you. And I bet I could do your job better if I had had it in the first place. The Chantry's charities could greatly aid Orzammar.
What sort of charities do you mean? I am not certain this is in Orzammar's best interests. Our castes have served us well.
No, they have not.
But it's possible this service could benefit our people. Very well. He may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
You know, if the caste have served you so well, why are you sitting there complaining about how my elders didn't teach me correctly? Because they don't exist for you if you're a casteless. Thank you for your time.
I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
I hope you do. And in my way, not yours. In the way I want you to regret it, not in the way that you want to. The Castas deserve someone out there who will tell them that they matter, that they live, that they're people, that they have a right to life, that they shouldn't be condemned for crap that happened, what, hundreds of years ago? Thousands of years ago? Stuff they had no control over and were never aware of.
Legion of the Dead Warriors secretly wear Prince Balin's colors. Our prince has
I doubt that very highly, but it's not a bad thing to say.
News of the hour. Questions remain as to Lord Balin's involvement in King Endrin's death.
Okay. Let's go speak with Brother Burgle. And then I'm going to go to Tapsters.
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper.
I have good news. He agreed to let you hold prayer meetings. Now, do your best to teach the castles that they matter and are worthwhile. Do the best to give them options and a life and meaning so that they aren't just at best used for horrible businesses that will exploit them at the point of their life for next to nothing in pay.
Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the Tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
You know, I will at that. I think I will at that. Check the tavern. And I have to be honest, we have to start doing double dealing stuff.
Horse blood and damnation.
Things that might require a level of moral flexibility.
Yes. Yes.
I once drank a thimble of dwarven ale, woke up a week later in Jada wearing nothing but my shoes and a towel.
Liliana.
There's an ale out there with my name on it.
Can you believe King Endrin turned against his own son?
That's pretty lousy.
If you want to drink in here, Brand, you'd better have the coin. I'll know if it was stolen.
Is that how you treat a Grey Warden?
So that explains the steel you're wearing. I was about to call a guard. I suppose you're the one from the Proving. Well, welcome to Tapsters, and hope we can serve you.
Yeah, thanks for that about face. It's so nice to know the two sides of your face. Sure, tell me about
So you come to Tapsters?
Sure.
I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view.
Sure. Looking for someone.
Aye? Maybe I can help.
Thought Argren might be here.
He should be by the trash barrel. Easy to spot. Everyone gives him a wide berth.
An appropriate place for him to be.
Did you need something else, Warden? So you come to Tapsters? I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view.
That's all, thanks.
A Grey Warden is always welcome in Tapsters.
Thank you.
Did you need something else, Warden?
Why, yes. I'd like a drink.
With 52 types of ale, 17 types of mead, and a dozen imported
Excellent.
wines, we should be able to serve your needs. What do you have?
A round of your best brew for myself and the house. Maybe people will be nice to me.
Someone's feeling generous. A round of Valentus Red for everyone.
That's nice.
This, my friend, is the Paragon of Ales. The best your money can buy. Enjoy.
Thank you. And I've heard of Valentus Red. That's something you never got to read up, never got to drink elsewhere.
Told him I don't understand.
We've a bit of stew on the fire.
Thank you.
I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me. Lord Dennick Helmy, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns.
Oh.
So I'm curious.
I can relate to
You've
being...
been living on the surface, right? Does it function any worse than Orzammar for having abolished caste?
Controversial opinion for a dwarf on the assembly.
Very good. I guess someone already told you I was good for nothing, drinking my life away at tapsters.
I'm a castless.
Or did they leave off at greatest shame to ever fall upon the assembly? I've always liked that one. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent dishes if we gave them a chance and a seat in the assembly.
Yep.
Orzammar are so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary.
I like you. They're not. It's good to meet someone like you, finally. Because if we're going to have change, it can't just come from the castles. It's going to have to come from outside of them. How does the caste system work here? I know this better than anyone, but I want to hear what he has to say.
Badly. Oh,
yes.
You're serious? Well, it's simple, I guess. The king and elected deshers of the assembly are at the top.
I just want to get his
Then
view
it's the nobles.
as a noble.
Then the warriors and all the craftsmen. At the bottom are servants. The casteless and criminals are below even that.
Yep.
Your caste is determined by that of your same-sex parent. And that's where you stay your whole life, whatever your skill.
Which makes no sense. It's so nuts. It's nonsense. So you get to... Let's get a noble's view of this.
The assembly passed laws prohibiting the casteless from holding any job a legitimate citizen
Which is
can
why
do.
we become criminals.
Of course they turn to crime.
Yep.
What else can they do?
Exactly. Harriman is double dealing you and Lady Dace.
Oh, well, I'd ask for proof, or why you care, but frankly, I'm so tired of it I'm not even surprised anymore.
Yes.
I don't even want the land, but my house would kill me if I turned it down. Responsibilities, you know. Now I'll have to go through the whole process of rejecting the deal. And we'll both have to try something else. And I thought it was going to be a nice day. I actually thought he was the better candidate.
He's not.
You must think I'm pretty soddy naive, huh?
No.
They're all the same. Well-dressed, blood-sucking cave ticks. I'll have to inform Mother that Lord Harrowmont hasn't bought our vote after all.
I could have asked him to vote for Balin, but for some reason I just didn't have it in me. I just couldn't. He had one of the most enlightened opinions I've met, and I just couldn't do it.
Good day to you.
Like an ale. Straight up. Sit down. Have a drink. Enjoy life.
No singing until the dinner hour.
Everywhere.
Hey,
I can't take it.
two of you.
What? Get away. You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends.
Is this Darkspawn corruption or just madness?
This thing's older than Darkspawn. And once you're in the story, they find you. See? I found copies. All from the same pen, and older than the ones in song. Dormant my ass. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Something is working behind the scenes in Ferelden. Notes you have acquired from dead or terrified adventurers point to an ancient evil, or at least an ancient man telling stories of ancient evil. You have cause to speak with Vilm Madan, who lives somewhere in Denerim. Outside Dukin, Shield of Orzammar. The Assembly has never named a Paragon with so little disagreement as there was for Paragon I Dukin. No naysayers, only a single abstention. His worthiness was unquestionable. His favor with the ancestors clear. But family rumor says that the man himself was deeply troubled, prone to fits of melancholy and self-doubt. Never satisfied with his great achievement in protecting Orzammar, he died cursing that he had not managed to save the outlying Tigers. Good man. That's the right attitude. I know how that feels. Not that I was as great as him, but I know how he felt. Before he rose to Paragon, he was of little note. The memories tell us that he never entered a single proving, never sought to elevate his place among the warrior caste. He spent most of his years prior to the first blight fighting skirmishes in the deep roads, keeping them free from surface bandits, content to live quietly with his wife and daughters. When the blight began, it caught Orzammar in the midst of a vicious interhouse war. Most of the warrior caste was caught up in the feuding. For as predictable, happens all the time, helps to weaken and destroy us all the time. For as word of the attacks poured in, each great house demanded that the army be sent to defend their tide, and no house would agree to sacrifice their own holdings for the safety of any others. Typical. The assembly was so utterly tied up with the infighting that the darkspawn spread unchecked to the gates of Orzammar herself. Of course. Thank you, nobility. This is another reason the Deshers and the nobility are accursed. And the warrior caste is accursed. Let's protect our own, even though we can't concentrate our forces. No difficult decisions made here. And that was key to one of the reasons why we were driven back to the edge of extinction. In the chaos, Idukan grudgingly took command of the armies. He enlisted the aid of the mining caste to collapse overrun passages, called upon the smith caste to supply them with arms, and bypass the assembly good, and the nobles entirely better. A democratically elected assembly is what we should have instead of those damn nobles. With his leadership, Orzammar was saved from annihilation. For his insubordination, he was made Paragon. Yet he always considered it a defeat. And that last part is why he was such a great man. Because he understood the truth of it in ways that no one else did. From A History of Idukan, Paragon, King, Peacemaker, by Scholar Gertek. That's why I like this guy. Because he understood the true nature of what he had and had not accomplished. And it frustrated and saddened him that he hadn't accomplished more. And he felt guilty precisely because of that. He's someone to emulate. So I guess there was one good thing about coming back to Orzammar. Too bad the rest isn't the same. The writers follow after every town, ever since my lucky break deciphering the story. I see it now, how they take the locals closest to me, preventing rest or kinship. I thought this a road to glory, but I am dogged at every step by his talents. Gax Kang. Curse his name and the day I heard it. Journal excerpt from an unnamed, long-dead adventurer. You asked, so I'm telling. Don't go. The stories talk of the riches, but never the names. And I think I remember reading this, but why not once again? Never where they supposedly spent their wealth. I heard the same tales as Aladdin Dinner, fill the same pole, but it's a lie, son. They may paint a trail, but once you're on it, does it lead to the beast or back to you? Unsigned letter, father to son. 3 weathered parchments with 3 versions of the same incomplete story. Excerpt. And when his kingdom fell, so disappeared the stolen riches of an age, the beast, the unbound, dormant until one of true spirit claims his throne. So must hunt the hero of his people, the principled who would search for the ancient evil. This is how they can make a real difference. Scribbled in the corner in a shaky hand. 3 pages, 3 ages, same story, updated. Same as the tavern song, but older. Signature torn on purpose, but compare and get Bill and Madon. All from him. How? Well, he sounds old and dangerous. Let's deal with him later. If we can.
What do you want? I know who you are. That castless whelp who ran off to become a warden. Someone saw you talking to Vartag Gavorn, and now it's all over that you've been doing dirty errands for Balin. I figured you'd be the one, you know, who could help me find Brosca. But I guess you're just like all the rest.
My only concern is raising allies against the Blight.
You don't need a king to face a Blight. You need a Paragon.
Okay.
The Assembly elects them, but they're higher than the Assembly. They become nobles, but they're more than anyone born to a house.
Okay.
They're what every dwarf with a spine not made of soap dreams of being.
Including you?
Aye, of course. Being a Paragon would be a dusted sight better than this. Why do you care what I want? Nobody cares about what I want. Your boss trying to butter me up or what? If you want the secrets of a Paragon, do the work and find her.
Well, you certainly have divorced dad energy. Yep. Divorce court done treated you bad, didn't it, old boomer? Oh, man. Certainly treated you bad. Got divorced dad energy really bad. Ah, pleasant like all the rest. Is that who Brosca is? She's the Paragon?
City's only living Paragon, and she's been lost in the deep roads for 2 years. 2 years, and no one's raised a bleeding army to go look for her.
Hello.
Why do you care, huh? You looking to uncover all her secrets? Is that what Balin wants? I know he's been poking around, trying to find things out about her, what she was looking for. Won't tell me spit, though. He wants it for himself, right? A little blessing from the Ancients' technology, and he's assured the throne. Is that it?
Well, you're not a complete fool. What are you talking about? What technology?
You are looking for it. Of course, that's all anyone cares about. Well, sod off and sod your mother, too. I need a bleeding drink. You keep on your errands. Until your boss really commits to looking, you're getting nothing but smoke out of old Ogren.
Well, piss off, you old drunk. God, this is another thing I hated about dealing with. Maker be praised. Ancestors' farts. And the Paragon's turds. This is another thing I hated about dealing with Orzammar. Drunken louts and brutes like you that would flip me shit because of your own divorced dad problems. It's not my fault that you were such a jerk-off and annoying jerk of a husband that your wife left you. Now you're pissed because you got nothing left. Well, maybe you didn't deserve anything, dumbass. I suppose I have to deal with you later. I've dealt with enough men like you that I'm bloody sick of it. I don't want to deal with more.
Didn't know Cora was letting in brands.
Talk to me like that again and I'll break your nose.
You think anyone in Tapsters will let you lay a hand on me, Bran? Now sod off.
Oh yeah?
Mine's standing a little downwind.
I'm a Grey Warden, piece of crap. I don't want to go to Dust Town yet. I do know what I am going to do.
Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
Dealing with Dust Orzammar has been an emotional roller coaster. There's good things and there's bad things, and you never know what you're going to expect around the corner. I've met Rica, and it's wonderful to see how well she's doing, but she's in the middle of a dangerous game, and I got to do my all to help her. I met Dagna and Burkle. They show promise, but I've been insulted and dealt with the Shaperate. Dealt with the Shaperate was painful. And then the casual bigotry I've been treated with, given all I've done. I just need this. I just needed a physical demonstration of emotional support, that's all. And I know I have it intellectually, but I just needed it to just
As you
reassure me. And it feels nice. Good hugs from her. But for the time being.
Have you seen my lunch? It's a piece of lichen bread with a spread of old cheese and shredded dried meat. I'm only asking because you never know who's going to get hungry.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, I was hoping
okay.
You wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Well, maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad thing. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself.
Okay. Two. Okay. Sell that. So here's what we're gonna do. We'll get ready and then we'll go on the mission.
I may have a cause to apologize to the sister.
Apologize?
Good.
For what?
For suggesting that the sister was gullible for believing in things which were not real.
Oh, that. I'd already forgotten about that. Thank you for reminding me.
I suppose it would offer some comfort to believe that things occur according to some grand purpose. All those years I spent in Honleaf, unable to move, it would be comforting to think there was some reason for it.
Do you know there wasn't? Perhaps the Maker did it to bring you here, to us. You once said that you had no purpose. Perhaps you are simply looking for it in the wrong place.
Perhaps. I shall think on this.
Good. Good job, Liliana. You really know how to help people and give them direction and guidance. Thank you so much, Liliana. It's good for you to see you helping out Auntie Shale and helping to work with her to give her direction and purpose. Great job. Okay.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Let me see your wares, Bonan.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
5. Just thinking bad. Okay. What else I'm going to do? There we go. Guess what we're going to do? I think I've talked to him, make sure.
At your word, Warden.
Do you need anything?
We have assembled on a short schedule. Certain factors of equipment could be better. Crafting components would serve best. Basic ones like elf root and deep mushroom.
Okay. Give all death writs.
We will make good use of what you have brought us, Warden.
Good to hear.
Yes.
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 There we go. Back to Orzammar. I am. Okay. Okay.
Pigeon crap.
Horse.
Check something.
Brosca.
Yes.
Yes.
Pigeon crap.
Vashaden.
Yes.
Yes.
Vashaden.
Yes.
Yes.
Bellissimo. Now this I can do.
You know what?
Pigeon crap.
Horse feathers.
Yes.
Yes.
It is done.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you past the front lines without Adesh's permission. And I've heard nothing of any new patrols scheduled to leave today.
Upon business for Balin, I have to find Lord Dace.
I see you have his daughter's seal, so I will not stop you. But be careful. Just because the beasts have pulled back from Orzammar doesn't mean there are any fewer in the deep roads.
Okay.
Either we finally have the edge, which I doubt, or the beasts are building up numbers for the next attack.
Okay. Made their move on the surface.
The surface? But I thought the vermin never went up that far except
during blights. Ancestors save us if that's what's happening.
What do you know about Paragons gone Branco?
What anyone knows. She went out there with her entire house and she's never coming back.
You don't think maybe she's still there, Commander? She is a Paragon, after all.
And now she's an ancestor. No one lasts 2 years in the tunnels.
Are Darkspawn the only danger in these tunnels?
Of course not. Down here, you're bound to run into giant spiders, deep stalkers, and other vermin.
Deep stalkers?
Ugly beasts they are.
I know what they are.
Walk on 2 legs, but they have the head of a worm and hunt in packs. Watch out. They're not afraid to take on a group their own size.
Yep. No dwarves passing
A
by?
few outposts. Legion of the Dead, mostly. Fools that they are. Some scavenger types, too.
I know what they are, but listen, to get your opinion.
You know the Legion, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Anyone who can bear arms can join, no matter his crimes. Or sanity. They hold a funeral when they join, and swear their only goal is a glorious death.
Yep, I just wanted to get your opinion of them.
Best of luck.
Sometimes you ask people questions you already know, less because you need to know the information and more to get their reaction to it. Because that tells you much about who and what they are.